All right. Good morning, everybody. Hey, it is 1 week before Impact. It's Saturday, April 25th. I had to think about that last one for a second. My name is Craig Smith. I get the honor of hanging out with you guys every Saturday. For all of our new Alavea team members, a great good morning. I see a bunch of names I don't recognize. So if you are new, give a big shout out. Hello, welcome to this beautiful, beautiful community. And for those that are here every week, like many of you are in the chat room, it's so awesome to kick off these weeks, to be together. And even though like we're kind of, you guys have to deal with me, but we get to chat together, we get to communicate together. Heather just jumped into if you're wondering why people are posting hotels in the chat room, that was the fun that before we hit record, one of the fun things we were talking about, what are your favorite hotels or favorite brands or hotel that you've been to, or maybe one that you want a dream of going to. So that's why you see all those messages. Most Saturdays, Christy, who's our company's lead trainer, who's amazing. Everybody knows, like, she is so spectacular. Like, I actually get more excited for these calls just to listen to her while I'm hanging out talking with you guys. She's not with us today. I don't think. I'm going to double check, make sure. Yeah, I told her not to because it's her anniversary. And she's about to do 2 weeks going to Dallas and then everything. So I was like, spent a great day with her husband, Scott. And so happy anniversary. If anybody's talking to Christy, 33 years for her. I asked her if she went the old classic route and got married at 14. But evidently she was in her early 20s. But obviously her and Scott are doing great, look great, 33 years. That's super impressive. And if you see her in Dallas next week, definitely say hello. Oh, the Hilton in Hawaii. Oh, that sounds like a fantastic. I've never been to Hawaii. I was supposed to go to Hawaii with a whole bunch of you guys, and 2 days before, had the flight, had everything all coordinated. I got bloody COVID. Never had it before. It was way at the end of it. I thought I was one of those super immune people that would never get it, and there you go. So I got kicked off the flight. All right, so let's have some fun today. So what we're going to chat about today, and by the way, for those that I haven't met, my wife and I are 1 million Hope ambassadors. And what that means is for all of us, we're here on a Saturday morning, we connect each week, or if you're brand new, you've just made the decision to be part of this beautiful company that says Alavea. And if you can see, it's got love in the middle of everything we do. It's got love right in the middle of the name. I mean, I think we should be recognized as probably the greatest brand ever. I'm gonna try to do this without, oh no, I have to go that way without spilling it. Like, oh, I did spill it. Did you see that? Whoops, sorry about that. Like, it's such an amazing brand. I love the fact that we've got love right in the middle of what we do, right in the middle of our name. And it's kind of the foundation of who we are. Like, we're loving on people, helping people live a healthier life. We're inspiring people to try, maybe move away from something not good for their health and something good for their health. Or we're trying to inspire people to just even be more conscious around wanting to take something on a daily basis to start those small triggers that can make a big impact. And love is at the center of everything we do because every single serving creates a matching serving for children in need. And I haven't even opened up my app this morning. So if you are brand new, this is something we track every week. If everybody in the chat would like to open up and share where their Ripple is, I think this is a great timing to think about where your Ripple is. We looked at this each week, but because we have our Impact Dallas event next Saturday, it's kind of like we get to start new. This Saturday is a refresh. We start, the next 90-day campaign, and it starts, even though it's really starting at Impact, it actually technically starts this week because what's happening on Friday is this week's volume. So this week we want to mentally think all of the activity, everything we do. We don't slow down, wait for anything, because everything is going to play into this Friday's announcement. So we want to get rocking and rolling this week. So, mark down where your Ripple is. Maybe even save it. Do a screen capture. If you open up your app, scroll. Oops. Let me try to scroll down. Scroll down. You'll see your Ripple. Mine's just loading. Look at this, everyone. We just surpassed 67 million servings. So incredible. The My Impact button is you and your customers, and then your Ripple is, if you're building teams of teams, it shows your overall impact. And now Ann and I, we've been here the longest. We've been here pretty much from the beginning. So our Ripple is, pretty big, but only because we introduced it to a couple people. And those couple people introduced it to a couple people. Those people introduced it to Danny and Brian Morgan, who have, tens and tens and tens of millions in their Ripple. And then we introduced it to some people who introduced it to some people, to somebody named Steve Burns, not a bad introduction, and Marlene Copeland, and all of these amazing people, and Dave and Kelly Osborne, who has 7.7 million servings. Isn't that incredible? And I love these stories too, by the way. My favorite is when I see a Ripple pass 5,000 and then 10,000 and then 25,000. And there's this great line I've kind of used it our whole life. I forget where it's actually from, but what you measure matters. And I think we are the only company in the world that is measuring the impact that we're having around the globe. And the more excited we get around that, measuring that impact is mind-boggling. Look at Roger, just surpassed 50,000 servings. Huge. That's awesome. Big congratulations. Kathleen's about to surpass 150,000. Mindy crossed 300,000 servings. Like, I feel like I just met Mindy, and it's so cool to see not only how the product will change someone's life physically. I look at Cheryl there, who's at 2.6 million. Like, her life has transformed because of Alivea. And now all of a sudden this, I get so inspired every Saturday. Okay, well, let's get into kind of like the meat and potatoes. Or if you're a vegetarian, let's get into the broccoli and the asparagus of today's meeting. Look at Liv. Oh my gosh, she's going to be close to 5,000, 4,095. Liv, thank you for sharing that. That literally just gave me chills. Is it Liv? Liv? I hope that I'm pronouncing it right. We actually have somebody who works in our hospitality company named Liv. So I hope I'm saying this right, but oh my goodness, so amazing. Can't wait to see you cross that. Tracy Clark's so close to passing the 350,000 mark. I think it's so inspiring, so amazing. Yeah, isn't that awesome, Danny? I love that way to go. Okay, so the meat and potatoes, or whatever vegetables you want if you're a vegetarian. Purpose of today's call, we're going to talk about something a little different because it is a bit of a mindset. Christy and I did this last Saturday as we lead up to an event. And two things. Oh, Joy Joy, you're just posting to the host and panel, so only I can see that. But Joy, you're making me feel joyful. She's at 4,800, about to surpass 5,000. Congratulations, Joy. That's so amazing. See, if we can continue to connect what matters, it drives our ability to do what we have to do on a daily basis, because what we have to do is so different than traditional businesses. And I don't know if anybody on this call has their own business, or whatever you may do for a living. We know in so many businesses, you have to build the website, you have to make the product, you have to sell the product, you have to staff it, you may have to have a bricks and mortar location, have an office, you may have employees, you have to pay those employees, you have taxes that you have to do, like all of this stuff, right? You have to come up with a brand, you have to do all of that. All of that's done for us with Alivea, right? Sam Castor, his team, they do it all. This app, I didn't pay for this app, I didn't develop it, I didn't even come up with any of the ideas around it. They do all of this. So, and they add the recordings to it at the end, they call them. We don't even have to do that. So all of our role is to share from the rooftops, share with passion, share with excitement, and tell as many people humanly possible about Alivea. And we know in that funnel, the more people we tell, right? Some people are going to come into this funnel and want more information. I know this by fact because all of you are here. You didn't grow up knowing about Alivea. Somebody shared it with you not that long ago, or like who was it? Liv said earlier, she just found out about it in January, just joined. So Liv didn't know about Alivea before that. So somebody talked to her, had the courage to share it with her. She went into the funnel, or maybe she saw it on social media, or maybe somebody reached out to her, or maybe a carrier pigeon came along and dropped it off at her front door. I highly doubt that was what happened. But now all of a sudden she went through the funnel and something was in this for her. By the way, guess what? A lot of people come in, and I know you guys have the experience, I do too, where people come in and say, not interested. They couldn't even care less. I was literally talking to a family member who has a health concern and issue that needs our products. And it was like talking to a zombie. Well, I've never talked to a zombie, but I assume that's what it would have felt like. There was just in one ear, out the other, no energy. Oh, here we go. Liv said, and now I can stop telling every person I meet about it. Now I can't stop telling. Good for job for you, Liv. That's what we want to do. Cassie Williams is the one who told me about it. And how great it feels like when you do introduce this to someone like Liv or, Cheryl, the person that shared it can think, wow, this has really impacted this person's life. Mindy, who's a health pro and as a Alivea pro, has the coolest tattoo because it's just changed her life and she's putting that on there. I mean, I'm not saying everyone has to go do that, but I think that's pretty awesome. So it is amazing what can happen. So our job is, what we can do on Saturdays is we can help inspire us to stay focused, to stay committed. And because we've got this event in Dallas, this is a good time to reset and think, okay, this quarter is ending and the new quarter launches today, not at the event, because the event is on Friday and that's still this volume week. So that means all of the things we can do this week is going to be playing into some of the things that we're announcing on Friday. And by the way, for those that can't make it, because we understand some people it's going to be impossible to get to, stay tuned for some updates, but we're going to do a live update Saturday at 10 a.m. Central. I'm going to actually welcome you guys on stage to everybody who's in the room. And then Chrissy's going to introduce the Saturday morning guests, and I'm going to come fill you in on a lot of the things that went through. So if you can't make it, join us next Saturday, 10 a.m. Central. So we don't cancel this meeting, but you're actually going to be on stage with me in front of everyone. So that's going to be a whole lot of fun. So I'm going to do it right off of my phone. So but now with that, we're kind of resetting and we're launching the next 90 days here. We're going to announce the next event. We're going to announce details about the events. We're going to launch an incentive around the event. We're going to launch the excitement driving it up to. It's actually hosted with Dave and Kelly Osborne and their family, and they're amazing people. So you're going to hear a lot around this, but it kind of sets that motion that we can start, building mentally into, okay, what do we really want to do? And we can evaluate what have we done going, in the last 90 days. And we're big believers that, even if you had that great success, it's still staying focused, committed, knowing where you want to go. So kind of take that second and kind of think about, well, where do I want to be? Where does my ripple? Really focus on your impact level. We don't talk about it enough, but you want to get really, really good at looking at the impact level. And for those that are a little bit newer, this doesn't show all the impact levels, but this goes like from 2K to 5K to 10, 20, 80. Basically, this is the volume you're creating on a 4-week period. And look at this. It kind of shows you on average what you're actually impacting with the kids that are being nourished on average. And this 80K goes all the way up to 1 million Hope Ambassador. So there's the 150, 250, 500, and then the million. So there's this path to go around. But the more, again, what we focus on matters. If we're not focused on getting this, I've never really seen it happen by accident. You know what I mean? I know I've got some incredible trainers on this call, incredibly successful people. Danny Morgan, and all of our years in doing this, have we ever seen somebody accidentally hit these ranks? No. It is part of that focus. It's part of that commitment. It's part of that, and then it's doing the things that we do on a daily basis moving forward. So on this reset focus, there's one thing, because I'm sitting here in this hotel, and today's subject's a little bit different. I've done this once before, I think about a year ago or so, but talk about the power of hospitality. And that may seem kind of weird thinking, wait, I'm a social business partner. I'm trying to help people get healthier. I'm in the health space. I'm wanting to nourish children. Whatever those drivers are for you, why would hospitality matter? And I think this goes back to even many of us use the coach and read a book from a guy named Vince Vicente. In his book, he talks about, what are you willing to do that the competition's not willing to do? So what are you willing to do that the competition's not willing to do? And what most people aren't willing to do is to lead with hospitality, because when you think of hospitality, who thinks first hotel? or a restaurant? And you can be honest, is that what you're thinking? Because most people, that's what they link the word hospitality to, because it is kind of built into that kind of realm of what hospitality is. But I love this. I kind of looked up some of the definitions, but at its most fundamental level, hospitality is the act of making someone feel welcome, cared for, and valued. So I'm going to actually post that. I'm going to copy and paste that. I'll put that in the text here. Oh, I've got to make sure I send it to everybody. Now, many of you guys know, so on the, Alivea is one of the things we do. It's the thing we love the most, what we do. We also own a hospitality company. So we own restaurants. We do own a bunch in this space. But there's a great trainer, or not great, a great trainer, a great business person named Danny Meyer, who built a $6 billion hospitality giant. Um, and I love how he always talks about hospitality is the number one word that's not trained in business school. And if you think about it, if we are going to be unbelievable social business partners, and if we're going to lead by being incredibly successful and impact people's lives, and if we're going to lead with love in the middle of everything we do, well, doesn't it make a sense that we start to train ourselves to be incredibly incredible at hospitality? Like we become hospitality agents as social business partners. And because if we think of all of your customers or anybody that you've reached out to, if we're leading with how we make that person feel welcomed, cared for, and valued, you know, whew, I mean, who doesn't want to go to a space like that? We're staying in this. We particularly picked this hotel because I love this hospitality company. Let's see if I can go to their website. Here we go. So it's called the Pearl Hotel, and this they own a large hospitality center as well. And yeah, here's their website. So they're right on Lake Ontario. And because they're a hospitality company, and of course they are in the hotel, restaurant, food, and all that, but they lead with the level of hospitality. I mean, it's been so superb staying at this hotel for the last couple nights. Like all the little details, how they make you feel, how when you drop the car off for the valet, how you show up at the restaurant, how you show up everywhere. This is kind of showing all more of the spa. I'll kind of refresh it here. So it's right over Lake Ontario. It's kind of a little boutique hotel. Just every aspect of it just makes you feel great. And, what's interesting is when you lead with great hospitality, what is, Sam Castor's on, our CEO. We're talking about hospitality. Sam comes on, he's like, wait, Craig's pitching some random hotel. Um, but if you think of being, I'm going to go to Sam with hospitality in a second, but when you think of being a social business partner, if we have this hospitality mindset, that every customer, we're taking care of those customers, how we make that customer feels, how we follow up with them, how we encourage them. Every social business partner that has dreams and want to grow, how we make that person feel can make all the difference in the world. And what I've found, and I'm sure you guys have as well, is when the hospitality, when something has made you feel phenomenal, what do you typically end up doing? You tell everybody about it, right? So if the customer service team at Alivea, when you get off the phone with Sharon and her team, and they made you feel great, or you're reaching out to somebody on your team, and we had this great energy. If we're focused on that, now that we're resetting for the next 90 days, if we lead with being this incredible company, really dialed in with being great with people, and maybe that's not your strong suit, maybe you're like, I've never, that's not my way of being. Well, because you're a social business partner, because you're spending time either watching this recording or you're here on a Saturday, you obviously want to grow your business. So maybe this is something that's saying, okay, over the next 90 days as we lead up to the next event, if I'm going to shift one thing that I'm going to focus on, I'm going to focus on what I need to do on a daily basis. I'm going to reach out to people every day. But because that's the only way we grow our business, right? We can reach out to them online. We can reach out to them face to face. We can reach out to them by reaching out to, cell phone, text, what call. Yeah, I don't know if everybody knows you can actually make calls on these things. It's crazy. Wild technology. So, but however we're connected, could be at markets. Some of our most successful people but whenever we're in front of people, how we make those people feel. And so it's something we can work on and continually get better. And we constantly focus on this in our own hospitality company. And when you do a great job with this, and this is the point I'm trying to get to, even if they don't become a social business partner, even if they don't become a customer, if you're really good at how you make somebody feel and how you're communicating with them, they will tell other people about it. They will, just like I'm sitting here telling you about this hotel and this hospitality company called Pearl. Well, I'm doing that because I'm blown away with their hospitality. And it's just like anytime you have something that's your favorite or you've had a great experience, you'll tell others about it. So as we go into this shift, as we go into Impact in Dallas next week, as we go into, this week starts kind of the next campaign, because Friday again we're launching a lot of stuff on Friday. So this week is our new mindset. And this allows us to take the next 90 days and kind of think to yourself, well, what am I going to shift? What am I going to do to really focus and grow? We just talked about what you measure matters. So we know we're going to track our ripple, and we know we're going to look at our impact level. And those are great things to focus on. The other thing is, again, how you make people feel and having that hospitality mindset. So let's say if you're brand new, you're just getting started, you may not have a current team. So you can start focusing on, okay, over the next 90 days, that's my goal. That's my vision, to start having a team who I can partner and work with others. And we're going to start to really grow this movement. And I'm going to move to 2K, 5K, 10K, 20K, and move through the impact levels. Maybe you already have a small team. Maybe you have a medium-sized team. Maybe you have a large team. Reach out to who and your team, who wants to follow you and partner with you in the next 90 days. This is one of the things that I've always found the most powerful is when you don't do this alone, kind of like how we're doing this on a Saturday morning, but reach out to somebody over the next week and saying, hey, I've got this vision. By the next event, I really am focused on reaching this 20K impact level, or whatever the goal may be. And I would love to partner with you and help you reach your goals. So we're working as a team and we really stay focused throughout this. And I want to be there to support you. I love working with you for this and this and this reason. Well, you have that conversation with someone, that's going to make them feel pretty great, right? I'd love to work with you because you're so inspiring. You're so wonderful. Obviously, you can't make stuff up. You have to be authentic. But how you make people feel in that scenario, they're going to start to see their own vision. But they're also going to start to feel good. And then all of a sudden, Alavea just starts becoming part of what you do every day, right? It just starts becoming something that you love. And from that stage, then we get into our daily activity, we start to see good things happen. We start to see new customers come on board. We start to see new social business partners. We start to see affiliates. Sam talked about this, I think it was a couple of months ago, about this concept of momentum, because we've seen great growth last year. We've seen great growth this year, but it's a tricky thing. Everybody wants momentum, but you plan for it, but you can't just make it happen. But there is a synergy that kind of comes together when it does all happen. And Sam's done that before. He knows that experience. And there's just such a great brewing point of what's happening with Alavea. If we do our part, we focus on these next 90 days leading up to the next event with a new level of focus, and even how we show up with a new level of hospitality, and maybe do a little research on hospitality this Saturday or Sunday and spend some time think, well, what does this actually mean? And how can you apply that to being a great social business entrepreneur and apply that into your business? And, Sam, I feel like is one of those, I don't think he talks, Sam's been such a disruptive leader in the industry and massive business, but he leads with hospitality, even without even thinking around it. Because anytime you reach out to Sam, there's just such how you feel when you leave Sam and Linda Castor, you feel good. You feel really good. You feel inspired. You feel like you're listened to. You feel like you're around, somebody that's making an impact and wants and cares for you. That's a level of hospitality that is kind of like almost such an unconscious but conscious level that is so beautiful. So ask yourself, okay, can I shift in how I show up, and can I add that into my own self energy as I'm being the CEO of my own social business? So it's very exciting. Let's see, what did Michelle say? Speaking highly about others while not in their present goes to 100%. Yeah, shows others how you lift people up. Rising tide lifts all shifts. Beautiful. Michelle, look at you. Man, oh man, that's awesome. People will know they are partnered with amazing people. And I love that last line, Michelle, because imagine if we're all starting to do this. It almost like we talk about our own ripple with Alivea, that ripple as we're impacting lives. Well, what if we're doing that and how we're making people feel as well? So people then start to feel like, you know what company I want to be part of? I want to be part of Alamea. Why? I don't know. It just feels really good. Imagine if that was like the line. They don't want to be part of these hype things. They don't want to be part of these gimmicky things. They don't want to be part of things that shut down overnight. Alavea is this faith-based organization that's just got this goodness to impacting people's lives. And we love helping out people. We love the fact that love is in the middle of everything we do. Oh, love it. Okay, so this week, we've got a big week in front of us. So don't wait until Friday, because this week could be the week you find your next incredible partner. Could be a great customer. This week could be the week you find that person, but it takes doing the daily activity. So let's start this week. Friday night, for those that we'll see in Dallas, we can't wait to see you. For those that can't be in Dallas, know that we are going to be live here next Saturday at 10 a.m. And we're going to walk through at the event right on stage. And then I'm going to fill you on everything that was announced on Friday and Saturday. So good. So everybody, please have safe travels into Dallas for those that are coming. I hope you got some value out of today. Have some fun researching hospitality, integrating your life. Sam talked about. See you all next week. He's very excited. And let's have an amazing Alivea week, and can't wait to see you everybody face to face next week. And for those that can't make it, we'll see you Saturday, 10 a.m. Central next week. So, all right. Bye, everyone.